Welcome to Dialogue Matters. My name is Venus Jones. I am a internationally known spoken word artist, a communication coach, and I am really someone that you can look to if you really want to just talk. So, uh, as an award-winning producer of poems that have turned into films, yes, and we'll talk about Little Red a little bit later and what's coming up for that if you haven't seen that film yet. Uh, and I do because of Little Red and my need to talk more about trust and how to build trust. This whole project of Dialogue Matters is really about us building trust together in our communities, with our families, and me being part of the change that I want to see in the world. Uh, I am an empath, and I want to build this segment with you every first Friday. Dialogue Matters as an introvert and sometimes an omnivert, where I'm somewhere in the middle. I kind of can shy away from conversation. But I have studied conversation. I have studied communication as a neurodivergent. And it is important that I share what I know, especially in these critical times. I want to uh, give a shout out to a few people right now before I even begin to share my check in with you. Um, and I want to give a shout out to my mothers in heaven, Mother Rosa May. I'm the daughter of Rosa May. I'm the daughter of Rosemary, her daughter, who also raised me. And I am the daughter of Patricia, my birth mother, who is actually struggling right now. So if we can send some prayers to her. This weekend is Mother's Day globally. I realized coming, I didn't know that some of the holidays that I celebrate in the U.S. actually are some are global holidays are celebrated in other countries. I'm currently coming to you live from Vietnam, Ho Chi Minh City. Last month, I came to you live from Chiang Mai, Thailand. Steve and I have been traveling a lot this past 6 months and enjoying our travels. And I am just so grateful to say that Mother's Day is also celebrated here. Is my point. So if you are feeling motherless today and want to have a dialogue with someone who is deceased, stay tuned. I have a prompt for you. And dialogue is something that we have with ourselves. Dialogue is something we have with the God of our understanding. And it's also something we have with other people when we seek to grow and when we seek to resolve conflict. There is so much conflict in the world. So I wanted to check all of my DMs, because I call this DM or Dialogue Matters, to see if you had a question for me. And sadly, even though I'm a week late, because might say, my first question is, Venus, it is not first Friday. It is the second Friday. True. And I want you to know that I gave you a little extra time, but I also needed a little extra time since I am moving around a lot. And uh, thank you for your grace. I talk a lot about grace when it comes to communication. So thank you for your grace. And I am a week late. So for those who were looking for Dialogue Matters last Friday, I'm here now. Ta-da! And I want you to know that within the next few minutes, I just wanted to open up the conversation and poll you on if you want this segment to be Q&A. Maybe you want it to be me commenting on conflicts. Maybe you want to send me a video of a conflict you saw and it just turned into something that you just unexpectedly had no idea how it went left, right? And we can talk about it, like what could have been said that might have steered it in a different direction. And I have some ideas that I could share videos on, or we talk about even some speeches that were exactly what you needed to hear at that moment, and you want to know why it resonates so well with you. and why you think it caused you to cry or got you to laugh, or those types of things. Because we all want to be great speakers. We all want to have the impact that influences people. But you cannot do that if you do not study communication, if you just assume that everyone that you see in front of a microphone, or being able to de-escalate something that could have ended up in bloodshed, did that and had that skill naturally. There are natural speakers, but the truth is, it is a practice, this practice of peace. And I do think that I can help you with that. And that is why I'm here today and at the beginning of every month, even if it's the second Friday. So, what I wanted to do to before, because I come to, I could have come up with a whole bunch of questions um and on my own, but I want to stay in integrity, and I want to poll you on if you wanted to be video commentary. I comment on speeches or conflicts. I can't do world star because I'm an empath, so I'm not trying to see all of that. I actually did try, but I do think that there are some videos that you could feel free to share with me if you want me to comment on. Let's do some check-in, because as I build trust with you, I want you to get to know me a little bit better, because dialogue matters. So let's talk about what I'm grateful for. I am grateful for, I didn't get a chance to put this image on my slideshow that I have prepared for you, but I do want to give a shout out to Gerald Myers right now. This week, there are a couple people that really made me smile. One is actually two Geralds, Gerald Hayward and Gerald Myers. Gerald Hayward emailed me and said, we miss you in St. Pete. I used to live in St. Petersburg, Florida. And he said I was the best poet to ever grace those streets. So he misses me and what we used to do in Kwanzaa. So I thank you for reaching out, surprisingly. And I also got a message from Gerald Myers. Shout out to you. Because he is a doctor who works with patients who are struggling. And one of the things that he's forever grateful to Steve and I is for the Kwanzaa app. And he just had another breakthrough with another client and wanted me to know, again, how valuable that work is. It came to me at a great time, and it brought tears to my eyes. So thank you, Gerald, for reaching out and reminding me that what I do does have an impact, because sometimes we forget. So I say all that to say, who is it that you have been blessed by, and you just know you need to reach out and remind them what a blessing they are to you. So that was something I'm grateful for. I'm proud that we are in Vietnam right now. We're here while just working on being citizens of the world, really, but also working on our visa, a long-term visa, maybe for Thailand. So we're waiting to see what the powers that be say. So meanwhile, we are discovering Ho Chi Minh. We've did a water purification on. Steve and I did a water purification on the 4th. So the 4th was with us. May the 4th be with you, and or may the 4th be with you. And so it was synchronistic or ironic that we were doing water purification that day at a resort called Alba Resort. If you ever have a chance to visit Way or near Way in Thailand, I'm sorry, Vietnam, then you want to check out Alba Resort. So shout out to all of the people who might be following me from there now. We will miss you already. And it was just a beautiful ceremony. I was surprised that Steve did it with me. He's kind of not into all that woo-woo stuff, but he did it with me. And it was just, they had the incense. We were at the hot spring where it was the beginning, and then we walked to our place where they sat us down on these benches, and like a little bench thing, and they poured this warm hot spring water over us that had flowers in it. I'll show you some pictures later. And we focused on different parts of our body, the spleen, as the heart, the lungs, and I just, of course, I was moved by the heart because I'm so heart-centered. So I was moved there. And then, of course, the spleen, I was thinking about my mother because my mother had two spleens. One of my mothers had two spleens, and she actually gave a spleen to her daughter before she passed, who was in need of one. And I heard a message from heaven and her telling me, you have two spleens now. And of course I cried. So that was a vision I had. I really like exploring different cultures. Steve and I met during a cultural diversity gathering, and I'm so grateful for that too. I am really forgiving myself lately for a lot of things. Not being able to share with you more. I'm working on vlogging more, and I'm working on giving you some better quotes. At the end of every segment that I do, I usually say, let's keep looking up, let's keep looking up. So in this prompt that I'm going to share with you, for those of you who are interested in doing something for your mother, even though your mother has passed, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that later. I'm here for the anxious. I'm here for those who feel down and who feel depressed sometimes. I'm here for you. And that's also what this segment is about. And I also always want to be there for those who are maybe depressed but determined, because I am a high achiever who lives within anxiety, and I don't like labels, but I also don't like disguising challenges anymore. So I am grateful for the fact that mental health matters more now than ever, thanks to the pandemic. Maybe a lot of us have become a lot more aware of the importance of sharing our struggle. I don't want to be what they call toxic positivity. I do want to also still at the same time talk about what is toxic. I like to ignore sometimes toxic behavior because it's easier. But when we're working on being better mentors, and each one teach one, which is a proverb, we have to be mindful of how damaging that can be, to let each one struggle on their own, or not remind people that we too have had some struggle. When I think about conflict this week, here in this Airbnb that I'm in, we had a situation with a bed bug. Yes, saw a bed bug. I didn't get bit by it, but I have been bit by a bed bug before. And I don't know if this has ever happened to you. But sometimes when you are addressing someone who is in a situation where they can't kick you out on the street, you might have to think about what you want to say before you say it. And we did that. And I have this grace model. And one of the things that I got to give it more credit to Steve, because if I were to ask you, what challenge did you face this week? Or what conflict did you face that you think some good communication helped you with? I would say that I had to ask Steve that before this, and he said that he felt like it was that where he wrote a letter to the establishment and let them know that, hey, we had a good time checking in, everything was good. But by the way, okay, we saw this bug, right? And just want to let you know, how do you think we should proceed, right? I said this last segment, last month, these how and what questions are very powerful. One thing we know they don't want us to proceed on is to tell everybody and show everybody online, which a lot of y'all, that would have been your first That would have been your first thing. Okay. You didn't care about establishment. You go straight to social media and say, look, do y'all see this book? But because we give people grace and we think about if we were in that establishment and we were the owner of it, would we have wanted them to come to us first? And would we have wanted them to at least say something that we did that was good? Whenever you're dealing with a conflict, I want you to think about beginning with something positive, finding something that you can say that will uplift and or make the person feel at ease, because no one likes to be criticized, as we already know. So does anybody have any questions for me in the chat right now? We are broadcasting live on YouTube and on Facebook and as well as LinkedIn. And I am just checking in a little bit with what I'm grateful for, proud of, and I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about who I'm committed to and what I forgive myself for. We got upgraded. So that was the aftermath of documentation first and foremost. They know we know how to document because we put that stuff in writing. We didn't go straight to the face. We would put some stuff in writing, right? We didn't even show them a picture of the bug. We didn't have to. They fixed it. They fixed it immediately. And what they did was upgraded us to a better room, and I'm grateful for that. And you can see Steve and I doing a happy dance. If you're on Instagram at Venus Love Jones, you can see I put my little celebration dance. We got to see Kool and the Gang sing that live a couple of years ago. And what was that last year? Wow, that was last year. They also became rock and roll inductees, and I'm so grateful that we got the chance to sing them, hear them also sing Cherish, Cherish Today. No, Cherish Today is Sade, but they have a song called Cherish that I love. Wow, I'm just thinking out loud and letting you know that sometimes, writing letters to people can really help, getting in the process of letter writing and documenting things that when it's a conflict like that, you might want to keep that in writing anyway. So yes, you can see us dancing to celebration. If you're wondering what we was, that's why I put hashtag when you win it. Okay, when you win it, and yeah, so that's what's what. So peace, Venus. Y'all are traveling the world. I'm so proud of you. Thank you, Urel, for adding a comment to this conversation. This is a dialogue, not a monologue, and you can dialogue with me through chat. So thank you, Urel. Thank you, Stephen. Happy Mother's Day weekend to everyone. He wants to give a shout out to everyone. Thank you, Steve, for thinking of the mothers. And I want to say Happy Mother's Day, yes, to those who may not be like myself. You may have not chosen to bring a child in the world in a natural way sense, but you are an educator, and you are someone who maybe has bonus children that you've adopted. You too are thought of, and we appreciate you for all of the hard work that you're doing to keep somebody somewhere on the right path, okay? Because Lil Red is riding the wrong way in the hood, okay? And I'm so grateful that you are doing your best to help some Little Red somewhere. So now I want to, wow, it's already 7:20. At the end of all of these segments, I have an open mic because it's something that I promise my Patreon members every month, is that I will host an open mic, and I will give them a prompt and or an opportunity to learn, to listen, and be in community. And this weekend again is Mother's Day, so that's what's on my mind. And let's keep it 100. Everybody may have a mother, but they don't have a mommy, if you will, or they don't have somebody that they feel was warm and fuzzy, or a grandma like the ones you see on TV that bake you cookies and give you words of encouragement and inspiration. Unfortunately, too many of us do not have gentle women in our lives. And when I think about the word gentleman, uh, I think about a brand that I saw here in my travels in Thailand. It's called Gentlewoman. I just stopped in my track when I saw someone wearing a bag that said Gentle Woman. Ooh, I wanted to talk about this during last month, but it really had me thinking about what produces a gentleman. Is usually a gentlewoman, and a lot of the times, in my book Sheroes, a lot of people might think it's just about the upliftment of women, but it was also just about me wanting to remind women and almost share my disappointment with us not being more gentle, because some say that this is a man's world, but I do truly believe that every man that is struggling with his masculinity and this idea of being a certain way that is not comforting and that is not a comforter is because he didn't have a comforter at home. And I want to open that conversation again to remind you that She Rose is still available. Urel, you can see Urel reading it. Urel Riley, thank you so much for your love. He read it for Poetry Month, and it'll be 20 years old next year. And this book was also inspired by two of my mothers, Rosa May and Rosemary. And my prompt for you, if you are motherless, a woman, a man, is it does take a woman to produce a man. And that means that we have to remind each other that there is something innate in all of us. I truly believe, and that is this idea of wanting to be heard, wanting to be seen. And when you feel like you're invisible, it can create a different experience. And people do all kinds of things to feel loved. My mother and I did not always get along. My birth mother and I had some struggles with being told that I was out of line sometimes. And I have a poem that I used to recite, and it was called Talking Back. And I remember one time my mother hit me really, really hard. And I'll never forget that. And the poem, it starts on, I'm hoping I can remember it for you during this moment, because as a poet, I speak best through my poetry. I didn't expect the sting to linger so long. I think I felt my wow. I think I felt my brain shake as my eyes did a final roll back. And before I could blink, I had been put down with a smack. I felt I'm sorry, I guess I'm not ready yet. But maybe during the open mic, you can come and I'll get a chance to look it over and read it to you. little, little bit of a pinch with trying to remember it. But I do want to recite, or not recite, but read you a letter that I shared, that I want to share with you, that I speaking of dialogue, when I was talking to my mother, because again, because I felt as though I came from abuse. She adopted me, but she already adopted me because she felt like I was neglected. I would come into the church and I didn't smell too good. My hair was a little matted at the age of 2. So she saw me and she took me in, but she wasn't a perfect mother. No one's perfect. And I remember hearing a therapist say that everyone loves you the best way they know how. And that stuck with me. And I think that when we remember that, that's when grace sets in. And remembering that everything is not about you, it's about people having a cup where maybe you have a gallon of love that you're trying to give, but they only have a pint. And that's just the way it is. We're all designed so differently. And when we can remember that, we can have more grace with ourselves and with others, and we can leave toxic situations, but still love people from afar. And I remember writing a letter to my mother, but it wasn't the kind of letter she wanted to hear, but she did hold on to another letter that I'm going to share with you that she loved. But there's a letter that I wrote her that she didn't love one day, where I talked about how I felt about some of the abuse. But I want to share with you, if I can. I don't know if I can. I hope I can, without struggle. But hopefully with struggle, so that you can have courage to struggle too and not feel like you need to be perfect in this AI world. Let me see if I can look at my slides here. Is it on here? Let's see, present. I had a presentation I wanted to share with you. Will I be able to do that? And Rachel's back. Yay! 2 dialogue matters in a row, Rachel. I see you. What is she saying here? That mother-daughter relationship means a lot. My mother and I bump heads. I feel as though I always have to prove my worth and love for her. Yeah. That's how I felt a lot, Rachel. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing that. Because sometimes we see on social media people putting on fronts, and they don't even get along with their parents either. But on Mother's Day, they got this picture, they'll picture perfect. I just want you to know, and that's why I share my struggle with you, because I wanted you to know that you're not alone. And maybe you even have siblings that you don't get along with, and that's fine too. Sometimes we can choose our family. And being an adopted child, I'm the first to be able to say this. So shout out to Tony, my brother's keeper, who also was in a Kuwaiti jail for over 900 days. So if you don't believe miracles can happen, that is proof. He was released with at least 10 Americans who were wrongfully imprisoned. And so if you think this administration ain't did nothing good, that's something good. Shout out to the Trump administration. I don't care what y'all say. So I'm grateful for Tony Holden, Muhammad Holden, for reaching out to me and letting me know you're back with family and back in the U.S. And I'm grateful for the miracle. Sometimes we got to pray without ceasing. And like I told him, it reminds me of a quote I heard coming up in the church. May not come when you want him. Talking about the God of our understanding, but he's always on time. And I do believe it's divine time that Tony was released. I think that just like El Haj, Malik Shabazz, Malcolm X, Mandela, sometimes some people have to go inside in prison walls to be a blessing where it's needed most. And he was definitely that. And he came out with some journals because him and I met in the poetry world. So I'm grateful for that. Let me see if I can share something with you. Is it sharing? I believe it is. Let me try to go to the top. And Do I need to go full screen? I don't know if I can, but I do want to share with you this image. And this image is an image of the letter that I was talking about that I shared with my mother that she kept. I'm going to challenge you if you are feeling motherless and your mother is in heaven, or no longer in this realm, depending on your belief. Is there something that person kept that you gave them? She wanted me to know that she had kept this letter of when I was probably no more than the age of 8 or 9. And I was in school and I was uh, maybe not happy about it. I was missing some of her cooking, so this is what I wrote. Maybe I didn't like the school lunch. Dear mother, you are very nice, mother. I love you very much. I think about you in school a lot. You cook, clean, and I think that's enough to make it to the top because you are the best. I love you. Love, Venus. So I put love you on there twice. I got 2 hearts. I was coming correct with it. And you see this image of me also exploring some drawing here. So this is a Mother Rosa May. This is an image of me and her. And she was 100 years old when she passed. She told me she would live to 100, and she always said what she always believed in saying what you mean and mean what you say. And I could tell you firsthand that's one of my my biggest testaments of her being and believing that word is bond. 6204, I wrote something to her maybe after this, but I wanted you to see what she wrote to me because when people would come to our home, when we lived in Florida, Steve and I would have this place where people could write something. And she came to a birthday party that I had when I turned 30. And it says, "Happy birthday to you." And happy birthday to you, Venus. I love you, and I always will continue to keep your life in God's hands, and He will give you the desires of your heart. Love you, Mother. So I'm very grateful that I have this message from her. It's in her voice. If I forget what her voice sounds like and what she believed in. And if you are interested in seeing a quote, more quotes from her, I have a book called, She Rose. Again, that is a dedication to her, those who are rising, and the She wrote in you. And this Mother's Day, it makes a perfect gift. Plug, plug. She Rose on a Journey from Girl to Goddess. It was written by me. And shout out to Nikki Giovanni, who I'm also a daughter of. Poetic. She's my poetic, one of my poetic mamas. And she once said, "It's a joy to experience your work, and it's and you're on a ship rocketing to Mars." I can't believe she has left us, but she too is looking down and smiling right now. I want to remind you that Little Red is a public premiere. This is another huge. I wish I had my maracas with me right now, but this is a celebration. Little Red again has sparked me in this project of dialogue, and reminding us of the importance of the dialogues we have with our parents and with others. Here, I found something I can shake. Because after an incredible award-winning festival run last year, Little Red will have its official, drumroll, public premiere on YouTube July 16th. You're the first to hear this. So you can sign up if you don't want to miss it at littleredmovie.com for other virtual fun things that we'll be doing around the release of this award-winning film that won an award not only in the country of my origin, but in many places like Portugal. It was recognized in Canada. I can't believe it. So of course I have to continue this work that is so important, which is keeping children safe and decreasing the number of missing and exploited youth. Because I know what that's all about, is to to know that everybody doesn't have the parents that a lot of people, oh, so that's up to parents. Well, not always, because everybody doesn't have the parents. And I am a testament of that as well. If you want to join me and you want to do this next challenge that I'm going to share with you, write down this link, because the open mic is normally just for patrons only, but I'm opening it up to anyone who's feeling motherless right now and you want to share a letter that you're going to write to your mother. I'm going to stop sharing and give you an idea of what that looks like. I wrote a letter. This is a prompt maybe that you've heard before. Maybe you haven't never heard this. And this is my challenge to you this Mother's Day. If you would like to, you could write a letter to your mother, or you could write one imagining that your mother is in her highest self. And she is in reflection now in a different realm, looking back at this life, thinking about what she wants to say to you. Ooh, and imagining that. Because sometimes it's really painful if your mother left in pain and you didn't know how to get, or you felt you didn't have the control to help them as much as you wanted. Shout out to Dana Arthur, who I'm wearing her necklace, by the way. Shout out to Dana L. Arthur, who is like a bonus mom to me too. I'm wearing this for a reason. But I want you to think about that mother that you grew up with, and her being in her highest form. What would she say? What could you would imagine that she would say about your growth, her growth? And I want you to write a letter. I want you to spend 15 minutes. I did it this morning. Again, I've written two, but I did another one this morning because one of the things I wanted to do was just to imagine her voice. So this is what I wrote, and this is my challenge to you, is to do something similar, to write something. Steve wrote one because his mom has passed too. And it was just really beautiful. He had some of her humor. So maybe the first step is you want to write down like some things of the things that they used to say, because you do want it to feel like it's in her voice. What are some of the things that she said that was more on the positive side? And if you feel like you can't find anything, that's okay too. Think about what she would want you to say, or what she's saying now, and what kind of affirmation that she's flipping, and what kind of life she's speaking over you right now. This is what I wrote. Dear Venus, her letter to me, because she used to say, you know what? I think you're going to be about something one day, or you're going to be somebody one day. And she would say that, and it's like a running joke. So, of course, I started it with that. Dear Venus, I think you're going to be somebody one day. I've always seen greatness in you. I know you've been feeling unfocused lately, but you are my child and God's child. You're a child of God, and you're loved. Even when you were feeling like a lily in the valley, God sees you. I see you. I want you to remember the day you came to me bearing a letter. You wrote it in school, a letter I kept for a lifetime. Keep writing me. This is a letter to you from me. You are a beautiful spirit. I saw that early on. You have a twinkle in your eye, and if you can keep that song in your heart, Lord, I need thee every hour. I need thee. You are never alone. You are never alone. Please remember this. I am with you. Even now, I wish I could have been there with you more on earth, but I didn't like to fly. Yet, now I can help you soar. Look for me in the breeze. Look for me in the scent of a rose. Look for me on the second row in the pew in a church of your choosing. I am so proud of you for teaching me how to forgive myself and you. You are still in my prayers. Be good, and to God be the glory. Mother. So that is what I wrote, imagining that my mother is speaking to me on Mother's Day. What would your mother say to you? What would she be looking down and thinking that might bring you some comfort? Because dialogue matters, yes. So I am opening this up now in the last 15 minutes or so of this hour to you joining me. I will try to get that link again in the chat so you can join me on a Google Meet. And we share what you've written to your mom. But I want you to take some time, maybe 5 minutes to 15 minutes to write something. And if you want to share it with me, I'll be in that meetup for the next hour. And that is my invitation to you. Again, I'm asking you to before next month, you have some time to send me some of your favorite conflicts that you might want me to comment on. It could be an interview where someone asked somebody a crazy question and you love the way they responded, or you felt and seen the discomfort and you're wondering what I would have done in that situation, using dialogue and using communication. So the link for the open mic happening right now is in the chat, thanks to my my favorite supporter, because he's my biggest fan, Stephen Daniel Jones. So I want to give a shout out to Willie Robinson. I see your hearts in the chat. I see your 100 and your love. You too, who I have never met. Love you so much, Willie. I appreciate you for always being a cheerleader as well. And what can I say except for sometimes I say things that are dangerous. We all do. And it is so important that we remember that our words matter. I just want to be a person that you can look to ask anything, and not feel ashamed or judged. So if you want to DM me, you want to be anonymous about a question or a challenge that you're facing, that's fine too. But I've always, even Van Jones once told me, I DM'd him and he was like, man, you asked some quality questions. And that's for Van Jones, who is somebody who is, known as someone who's in the fire a lot. And I know I asked a lot of quality questions, but that's why my mother didn't always have the answer. So I was seen as a trouble child or indigo child, some people call it, because some say maybe I wasn't born yesterday, even though I was almost still fresh with milk on my breath. But I do think that what I want you to know is what was making me say all this is being neurodivergent means that, like I said, I have always been a little bit different. And having the struggle of being able to stay in the conversation and listen actively has been a gift in a way, because I can teach other people when they may forget to humble themselves and remember the importance of words. I do want you to do the challenge. If you're going to do the challenge, let me know in the chat. Let me know that you're going to do the challenge, and I will check in on you if you need that accountability. And I will end this with, I know I'm coming all the way full circle with this, but I was walking on these Thailand and on these Vietnam streets, and I was thinking about a quote that I say to you that's dangerous. And it's a way I like to sign off. I love saying, keep looking up and keep looking out. But what I've learned is we also have to watch our step when sometimes the street is safer than the sidewalks over here in some of these streets, in these Thailand and these Vietnam streets. The street is safer than the sidewalk. No cap. So when I tell you to keep looking up, keep looking out, that's usually, I'm saying that when you're feeling doubt, when you're feeling down. But when you out here and you walking around, I want you to sometimes look down. I didn't mean to rhyme there, but I am a poet. It just come out that way. So that's it. I'm not going to change my saying for you. But when I wrote my second letter to my mom today, or of the one where she's writing to me, she was trying to help me with this motto, and I felt like that's what she said. She says, let them know that sometimes it's okay to look. She says, it's okay. Looking up is always good when you're feeling down. But when you are feeling up and you feeling great, look down sometime, because this is gonna keep you safer. I'm just keeping it 100. So don't always listen to me if it's just not the best time. There's a time and place for everything. You hear me? All right. All right. So that's it. I appreciate you. I will see you next month on another live. This has been Dialogue Matters with Venus Love Jones. And keep looking up. Keep looking out. When we do, there is a lot less fear and a lot less doubt. Until next time, peace.